Video clips on blindness tips, a series of video demonstrations for daily living skills for the blind and visually impaired, presented in conjunction with the Washington State School for the Blind. The following tip features Catherine Golding, Eastern Regional Program Coordinator for the Washington State School for the Blind. Using one of her own prosthetic eyes as an example, Catherine will demonstrate proper techniques to remove, clean, and reinsert an ocular prosthesis. Parents and caregivers should always consult a doctor to determine the best practices and products for handling prosthetic eyes.
Hi, my name is Catherine Golding. I'm from the Washington State School for the Blind. I am going to demonstrate for you today the removal of, the care of, and the reinsertion of a prosthetic eye. You may find this helpful if you have a child who has a prosthetic eye that comes out, or a student in your classroom who has a prosthetic eye that comes out. There are a couple of preparation things you want to be sure you do. Get a bowl with vinegar water or Listerine water, and by that I mean a mixture of vinegar and water, or a mixture of Listerine and water, and generally the proportion is 3 parts water to 1 part vinegar or Listerine.
Washington State School for the Blind recommends that you talk with your eye care specialist for recommendations on cleaning solutions.
You be sure that you have cotton balls on hand or artificial tears in a bottle. And also be sure, if it's the policy in your school or at home, to use gloves. But do thoroughly wash your hands before you handle the eye. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to remove the eye, the prosthesis. So what you're going to do is take the top lid and pull it way up to the top, and the bottom lid pull it way down. And then you can ask the child to blink, or you can just kind of put your finger under the eye and flip it out. It should come out pretty easily. And put it in the vinegar water. And you're putting it in the vinegar water so that it will clean the dried mucus, and sort of that disinfects the eye as well. Be sure that you ask your healthcare professional if they have something else that they prefer that you use, but I do not recommend that you use a straight disinfectant. Some people use peroxide, but always mix it in with some water so that it doesn't discolor any of the outer layer of the eye. You have 2 ways you can wash your socket. You can do it with artificial tears, which you can buy at a drugstore. Make sure they have some oil in them, not necessarily the saline solution, but the oil, because it lubricates the eye socket. Or you can use, if you don't have that handy in the classroom or up at the nurse, you can take you can take a cotton ball, take your eye socket and squeeze the water across the eye to get the dried mucus off, and just kind of wipe very gently. It doesn't hurt, but kids tend to get a little uptight about it, so be prepared for them to yell. And it's good to have paper towels or a towel or something handy so that you can wipe off the face. Once you've finished cleaning the socket, the next thing is to move this eye from the vinegar water or Listerine water into the rinse water, and you're going to swish it around so that it gets well rinsed, and then you're ready to go to reinsert it. If you haven't rinsed it off real well, what it will do, it stings. It doesn't endanger them, but it does sting. So when you put it in, you pick up the eye and have it so that it looks like it's looking at you. And every socket is shaped a little differently. So you may have to take it out and put it in a couple of times, but that's okay. The kids tend not to like it, but it is not painful. Basically, you're going to take the eyelashes and pull them up. And you take the eyelashes because the socket's kind of concave. Then you push it up under this lid and hold it gently, and with your other finger flip the other lid down and out, and that way the bottom lid now has the eye in it. So that's all there is to it. Be sure that if you have a little kid, if you need some assistance, sometimes they get their hands up in the way, but it's not a painful thing. it's scary for little kids because they have somebody messing around with their eyes, but it's really not anything that is a painful operation for them. Be sure that you document what you did and what ingredients you used, and then just keep those things on hand in case it should happen again. Little kids have a tendency to rub their eyes, which will cause the prosthesis to turn around in the socket, and that usually needs to be called to the attention of your ocularist. Those are just a few pointers. I hope this was helpful.
More video clips for blindness tips are available from the Washington State School for the Blind at wssb.wa.gov.